At this moment, Bunny heard the people across talking. "Did you see that? That's the hottest snake beastman I've ever met. His figure and looks are truly rare," and the teenager next to him said, "Did you know that snakes all have two?" Bunny frowned, worried about what might happen. Although he guessed that Ta Din Shou would come looking for him, he didn't expect him to act so fast. So Bunny hurriedly stood up and quickly ran towards Ta Ding Ven. At that moment, Ta Ding Ven was changing clothes, and the door suddenly swung open. Bunny quickly closed the door. It was then that he realized Ta Ding Ven wasn't wearing anything. Bunny stepped forward. "I'm sorry, I didn't know you were changing." After saying that, he held out the piece of bread he had just bitten into. "I didn't see you in the dining room earlier, so I thought you hadn't had dinner yet and wanted to bring you some bread." Ta Ding Ven heard this and raised an eyebrow, mockingly saying, "You really are worried about me." Bunny panicked and pulled his hand back. "Sorry, I grabbed the wrong thing." Ta Ding Ven, now in his pajamas, asked Bunny, "You rushed over here like this to hide from something?" Just then, Ta Ding Shao's voice rang out from outside. "It's me." Bunny put his hand to his mouth, signaling for him to be quiet. "Don't let him know I'm here." Ta Ding Ven replied. "Ta Ding Shao, what is it?" Ta Ding Shao impatiently said, "Open the door." Hearing that, Ta Ding Ven was not pleased. "This isn't a place for you to do whatever you want. I need to rest right now." The next second, the door was kicked open. "Where are you hiding, Lung Tae?" Bunny was startled and trembled. He was so aggressive. Earlier, Ta Ding Shao kicked the door and entered Ta Ding Ven's room. "Where are you hiding my Lung Tae?" Bunny was scared stiff. Ta Ding Ven was very displeased with his behavior. He was getting out of hand. Ta Ding Shao directly pushed Ta Ding Ven aside. "Lung Tae, get out here by yourself." Bunny covered his mouth, continuously praying in his heart. "Please don't come over here." Ta Ding Ven pulled out a gun. "Did you not hear what I said? Do you have a few snake scales that can bring you back to life?" Ta Ding Shao chuckled lightly, then turned around, aiming the gun straight at his own forehead. "Do you dare to pull the trigger? You're a failure. You can't even protect your own fiancé. You've let the head of the family go missing for so long. If you dare to shoot, I'll respect you a little more." After hearing this, Ta Ding Ven gritted his teeth, but he really didn't dare to shoot. Ta Ding Shao walked towards the sofa, hiding here, but behind the sofa was empty. At this moment, inside the bathtub, Bunny couldn't help but feel relieved. Luckily, he was quick-witted enough to hide in here while he turned away. Seeing that it was too quiet outside, Bunny wondered if Ta Ding Shao had left. Just when he was about to lose his patience, Bunny hurriedly popped up from the water, only to be frozen in place by the person who appeared before him. "Oh, you can sit up? Long time no see, my servant." Bunny awkwardly climbed out of the bathtub. "What a coincidence, huh? You're here too?" "I just finished bathing. If there's something, wait for me to change clothes and I'll come back to talk." Bunny thought to himself, "This is so damn annoying." Just then, Ta Ding Shao suddenly shouted and ran away. "Unless you jump into the sea for the sharks to eat, you won't escape from my grasp." "Did you not hear what I said? You have some snake scales that can bring you back to life, right, Ta Ding?" Shao chuckled lightly, then turned around, reaching for the gun aimed straight at his forehead. "Are you really gonna pull the trigger? You're such a loser. You can't even protect your fiancé. You've made the head of the family go missing for so long. If you dare to shoot, I'll respect you a little more." After hearing this, Ta Ding Ven gritted his teeth, but he really didn't dare to pull the trigger. Ta Ding Shao stepped towards the sofa, hiding here, but behind the sofa was empty. At that moment, inside the bathtub, Tha Khan couldn't help but feel secretly happy. Luckily, he was quick-witted enough to hide in here while that guy turned away. Seeing how quiet it was outside, Tha Khan wondered if Ta Ding Shao had left. Just when he was about to lose his patience, Tha Khan quickly popped up from the water, and the result was someone standing right in front of him, making him freeze. "Oh, you can sit up? Long time no see, my servant." Tha Khan awkwardly climbed out of the bathtub. "What a coincidence, huh? You're here too? I just finished bathing. If there's something, wait for me to change and come back to talk, okay?" Tha Khan thought to himself, "This is really annoying." At this moment, Ta Ding Shao suddenly shouted and ran away, unless he jumped into the sea for the sharks to eat. Otherwise, he wouldn't escape my grasp. My servant. Bunny awkwardly climbed out of the bathtub. "What a coincidence, huh? You're here too? I just finished bathing, what's up? Wait for me to change and come back." Bunny was walking while thinking, "This is so damn annoying." At that moment, Tai Ding Zhou suddenly ran away with a shout. "Unless you jump into the sea for the sharks to eat, you won't escape from my grasp." At that moment, Ta Ding Ven reached out to the bunny and said, "Let me take you to dry your hair." The bunny was stunned, always looking at Ta Ding Shao. Furrowing his brows, he grabbed the other hand of the bunny. The two kept pulling and tugging, while the bunny didn't dare to resist. Offending both is definitely asking for trouble, and right now both Ta Din Chao and Ta Din Van were speaking up to scold him. Have you forgotten what you promised me? The bunny's face turned dark. What should he do now? The battle for the bunny officially begins. Who will win, the snake beast or the wolf beast? The bunny was being pulled by both of them. Ta Din Van and Ta Din Chao forced him to make a choice. The bunny decided to take a risk and directly sat down on the floor. My body only has one. You two can do whatever you want, or just split me in half. Clearly, he was just a punching bag. Taking the hit had no effect at all. In the current storyline, who knows if this will work? At the same time, on the other side, a man rushed over to report that the boss had been guessed right. Those two brothers just met, faces like water and fire, now fighting over a bunny to see who gets to be called the boss. He chuckled lightly. Finally, he waited for this day. Ta Din Van basically didn't understand the safe zone of 100. For me, the safe zone of 100 is just more dangerous. What are the new rules? Just a political move by Ta Din Van, that's all. Before this, he was worried that killing Ta Din Van would lead to revenge from Ta Din Chao. If they were together now, then this would be easy to execute. He ordered his subordinates to follow the previous plan. He wanted to take the lives of the Ta brothers right now. Ta Din Chao was frowning tightly. Split in half? Do you really think I wouldn't dare? What? The bunny pouted, wanting to chop and kill at will. Ta Din Chao leaned closer to the bunny. All right, let me see how we should start. Where should the knife come from? Then he directly made his move. The bunny wasn't a coward. Right now they were just competing on who has thicker skin. Unexpectedly, the next moment, the bunny was stripped bare. Ta Din Chao smiled wickedly. Where are we now? At this moment, Ta Din Van held his hand back. Din Chao, have you had enough chaos? Ta Din Chao pulled his hand back. Let's see. Since Big Brother doesn't want to share fairly with me, then let me take you away. Not a single hair can be missing. The bunny was a bit speechless, and now we're discussing what's lacking. You're not a pig, right? Ta Din Van pouted. He reached out and pulled the bunny towards him. Leaning in closely, you probably don't know, right? He's mine. We have done the most intimate things in the world together, Ta Din Chao exclaimed. So what? But after that, auction, he's mine. The rivalry between the Ta brothers made the bunny feel like they were crazy, and he shouted loudly, You are crazy people who don't care about face! Let me go! Just at that moment, the yacht suddenly exploded. Inside the laboratory on the island, the bunny was placed on the operating table. He just opened his eyes and saw a man wearing a bunny mask appear before him. Just looking at him, it was clear he wasn't the kind of good person. You're awake? At this moment, the bunny panicked to realize he was tied up. The person wearing the mask pulled out a surgical knife. Welcome to the Love Bunny research base. Luckily, you were brought here. This island will make you forget all your pain from now on. The little bunny opened his eyes wide in horror. What the heck is going on? Why does this sound like a mad scientist? The little bunny asked the system in confusion about this. What do you mean? The system explained that after the yacht exploded, you and the two brothers from the Tot family were lucky to escape, but you drifted to an island. According to the storyline, you were never captured and taken to the research base. You just discovered some secrets on this island. But what exactly are those secrets? You can only find out when the plot develops to that point. Right now, things are a bit different. The principle of you being brought to this island is a bit early. At this moment, the masked man took out a walkie-talkie and said the doctor invited you to laboratory number 3 to perform an autopsy on the specimen. The little bunny was terrified by those two words. This place is definitely not simple. He has to think of a way to escape. The masked man reassured him, saying their doctor was very gentle and definitely wouldn't hurt him. Once you try our new drug, your genes will be cleansed. You will be illuminated by the light of the Lord. You will forget all the pain in the world. If you try to run, the doctor will take your life. The little bunny felt really scared. What kind of experiment are you guys doing? The masked man raised his hand to his mouth and sprayed something, and he was about to find out. After that, he pulled out a syringe. Inside, the little bunny wanted to explode. Could it be that he has to die in this third world? Just at that moment, the door opened, and another masked man entered. The other guy saw this and said, Doctor, I was just about to hypnotize him. You came earlier than I thought. The doctor said this specimen was the best one for him to personally inject. The little bunny felt a bit suspicious. This person's voice sounded a lot like his brother, and the mask looked very similar too. The doctor told the other person to leave the room. Without his orders, no one else was allowed to enter. The little bunny couldn't help but ask, Doctor, is there anyone here named Kay? The doctor tilted his head and asked the little bunny, Who are you talking about, Kay? Unfortunately, he died a long time ago, so don't expect anyone to come save you. The little bunny felt like he was really out of luck. he could be dissected at any moment. Just when he was tense, closing his eyes, the doctor suddenly laughed wickedly. "I thought you had recognized me. I was just joking. How could I die?" The little bunny immediately felt like he had just escaped from death. "You're my brother, so let me go." His brother took off the handcuffs from the little bunny. After being freed, the little bunny asked his brother, "Why are you here? Were you forced?" His brother reached out to remove the mask. "Before answering your question, I want to express a doubt. We have similar faces in our hearts. Moreover, my name is not K. My real name is Lung Tum Trung." The little bunny was stunned by this scene. Lung Tum Trung, the main character of this novel. The system appeared to tell him that the main character had appeared, and the official plot had begun. The details of the plot have been refreshed. Due to the explosion, you drifted to an isolated island away from the outside world. You discovered that the doctor was the white moonlight that the two main characters had been longing for day and night. At this moment, on one side, you were still entangled in the task of Countess Alice, and on the other hand, you were unwilling to hand over those two outstanding men to Lung Tam Trung. So you decided to make Lung Tam Trung completely disappear from this world to become the only one. You're the best test subject for me to personally inject. Thaw Khan felt a bit doubtful. The voice of this person sounded a lot like Ka, and moreover, the mask looked very similar too. The doctor ordered the person to leave the room. Without his orders, no one was allowed to enter. Thaw Khan couldn't help but ask, "Doctor, is there anyone here named K?" The doctor tilted his head and asked Thaw Khan, "Who are you talking about? K. Too bad he died a long time ago, so don't expect anyone to come save you." Thaw Khan felt like he was really out of luck. He could be dissected by the opponent at any time. Just when he was tense, closing, allowed others to enter. Bunny couldn't help but ask, "Doctor, is there anyone here named K?" The doctor tilted his head and asked Bunny, "Who are you talking about? K? Too bad he died long ago, so don't expect anyone to come save you." Bunny felt like he was really out of luck. He could be dissected at any moment. Just when he was tense, he closed his eyes. Oh my god, talk about bad luck. Like you could get dissected by the enemy at any moment, just when you're all tense and focused. His eyes, the doctor suddenly laughed wickedly. "I thought you recognized me. I was just joking with you. How could I die?" Thaw Khan immediately felt like he had just escaped death. "You're Ka. Why did you let me go?" Ka uncuffed Thaw Khan. After being freed, Thaw Khan asked, "To escape from death." "You're my bro. Why are you letting me go so quickly?" Bro uncuffed Bunny. After being freed, Bunny asked again, "Ka, why are you here? Were you forced?" Ka reached out to remove the mask. "Before answering your question, I want to express a concern. We have faces that look alike. Moreover, my name is not K. My real name is Lung Tam Trung." Thaw Khan was stunned by this revelation. Lung Tam Trung, the main character of this novel. The system appeared to tell him that the main character had appeared, and the official plot had begun. The details of the plot had been refreshed. Due to the explosion, he drifted to a secluded island away from the outside world. School. Bunny was stunned by the scene in front of him. Lang Tam Truong, the main male lead of this novel. The system appeared to tell him that the main male lead had shown up, and the main plot officially began. The details of the plot have been refreshed. Due to an explosion, he ended up on a deserted island cut off from the outside world. So, the plot twist has been refreshed. Because of the explosion, you end up stranded on a remote island, cut off from the outside world. He discovered that Dr. Xie was the white moonlight that both main characters longed for day and night. At this moment, he was also partially entangled in the mission of Countess Alice, and partly unwilling to hand over those two outstanding men to Leng Tam Trung. Entangled in the mission of Countess Alice, partly unwilling to hand over those two outstanding men to Lang Tam Truong. So he decided to make Lung Tam Trung completely disappear from this world, to become the only one. The male lead is shocked even more by this little bunny. Did he really just disappear? Is he going to take his life? The original host is truly ruthless. No wonder he's just a pawn. Seeing the little bunny stunned and not responding for a while, he reached out his hand towards his face, shaking it back and forth. Lung Tae must be scared too, right? If he didn't know, he could misunderstand that we're the same person. The little bunny feels confused as to why the male lead has to tell him his true identity. If he's hiding his identity to come here, doesn't he fear me spilling this secret? Tam Chung smiled and said, "Last time I heard you mention that the Ta brothers fought because of you at the auction house. Those two guys may not be easy to mess with, but they definitely won't let a flower bloom beside them. I believe you'll keep this secret for me." The little bunny felt even more confused. Could Tam Chung be a sweet, naive fool? In the legends, to keep a man, the original host even planned to take his life. Tam Chung expressed that if you have more questions, save them for later. Right now, time is running out. We need to leave quickly. At this moment, by the seaside, two people wearing bunny masks were chatting about the new test subject. The doctor said he's the perfect test subject. The other person agreed, saying this time they would definitely develop a serum. Once that's done, they can leave this place. Tadin Shao peeked out from behind a bush. Could it be that Lung Tae snuck onto this island? Just now, after he took a round to scout, he discovered that this island is not simple. To put it plainly, it's a dark laboratory of the bunnies. What do they want with Lung Tae? He must quickly clarify this. Just then, a voice reminded him, "Wait a minute, Tadin Vun is here." He threw a gun to Tadin Shao. "We'll split up and act." Looking at the gun in Tadin Shao's hand, he laughed. "I can just use my fists to beat them." On the other side, Tom Chung led Lung Tae to his resting room. "You'll stay here for a few days. When the time comes, I'll find a chance to let you go." The little bunny took off his mask and thanked him. Although he expressed gratitude, inside, Lung Tae was worried for Tom Chung. "Dude, you don't know you're leading a wolf into your house." Tom Chung told him to rest. "It's getting late." The little bunny just finished showering and asked the system, "I can't bear to hurt this sweet, naive male lead." The system also knew that a pawn like Lung Tae, how could he harm the main character? So it comforted Lung Tae. "You just need to play your part." Just then, gunshots rang out outside. Tadin Van and Tadin Shao caught Tom Chung. The little bunny hurried outside, yelling for them to let him go. "Do you know who he is? He's Tom Tring," he interrupted the little bunny. "Lung Tae, don't say anything." The little bunny immediately understood the meaning of the other person. It seems Tom Trin still doesn't want those two to know his actions. Ta Din Vun suspiciously asked, "Do you know each other?" The little bunny panicked and found an excuse. "He's a friend I met on the island. Do you know? He's a good guy." Ta Din Vun certainly didn't believe it. "Is that it?" Tom Chung added. "Of course. I'm just an ordinary person like everyone else. I didn't know you guys before." The little bunny felt that this statement was indeed unnecessary. What do they want to do with Lung Tae? He had to quickly clarify this. Just then, a voice unexpectedly rang in his ear. "Wait a minute, Ta Din Vun is here." He threw something to Ta Din Shao, suddenly echoed a reminder. "Wait a minute," Tai Ding Van appeared. He threw something to Tai Ding Zhou. "A gun. We split up to act." Looking at the gun in Ta Din Shao's hand, I couldn't help but laugh. I could just punch them and defeat them. On the other side, Tom Truong led Lung Tae to his lounge. "For the next few days, you'll be resting here. Wait until the opportunity arises. I'll find a chance to let you go." The little bunny took off his mask, thanking him. Although he said thanks, inside, Lung Tae was worried for Tom Truong. "Dude, you have no idea you're leading a wolf into your house." Tom Truong told him to rest. "It's getting late." The little bunny just finished showering and asked the system. I couldn't bear to lay a hand on this sweet, naive main character. The system also knew that a bulletproof character like Leng Tae couldn't possibly harm the main character, so it comforted Leng Tae. "You just need to put on a show." Just then, gunshots rang out outside. Tadin Vun and Tadin Shao caught Tom Truong. The little bunny rushed outside, yelling for them to let that person go. "Do you guys know who that is?" "It's Tom Trin?" He interrupted her. "Lung Tae, don't say anything." The little bunny immediately understood the meaning behind that. Apparently, Tom Trin still didn't want those two to know his actions. Ta Din Van suspiciously asked, "Do you two know each other?" The little bunny panicked and found an excuse. "He's a friend I met on the island. Do you guys know? He's a good guy." Ta Din Van, of course, didn't believe it. "Just like that, really?" Tam Trung added, "Of course, I'm just an ordinary person like everyone else. I didn't know you guys before." The little bunny felt this was totally unnecessary. Still didn't want those two to know his actions. Tai Ding Van suspiciously asked if they knew each other. Bunny flustered, found an excuse. "He's a friend I met on the island. Do you guys know? He's a good guy." Tai Ding Van, "Huh? The wild bunny is looking for an excuse. He's a friend I met on the island. You guys know, right? He's a good guy." "Thank you, Ding Van." Of course, didn't believe it. "Just like that?" Tam Trong added, "Of course, I'm just an ordinary person like everyone else. I didn't know you guys before." Bunny felt that this statement was really unnecessary. "Just like everyone else. I didn't know you guys before either." The bunny feels like this statement is totally unnecessary. Ta Din Shao directly grabbed the mask off Tom Tring's face, wanting to pull it down without wasting words. So what? The moment the mask fell to the ground, Ta Din Vun and Ta Din Shao were both stunned. Ta Din Shao held Tom's chin. The leader said, "Indeed it's you, Tom Trung," with that awkward smile. "Long time no see, Tadai Ka, Ta Ni Ka." Ta Din Van hurriedly helped Tom Trung up. "Where have you been all these years? Why are you on this island? I've been looking for you for so long." He originally wanted to say more, but Tom Trung was snatched away by Ta Ding Shao. Tom Trung, this time I will protect you well. Vun was dissatisfied after hearing this. Did you forget she's AI's fiancé? Ta Din Xiao laughed. Marriage is serious. Sister, you can change whenever you want. Tom Trung wanted them to stop arguing, but the two brothers from the Tot family weren't having it. One was telling his younger brother not to be rebellious, while the other asked, "Why do you always snatch her away?" Meanwhile, I, the little bunny, was watching the drama unfold. System, who do you think will win here? The system felt a bit helpless. You should show a bit of sadness. The book describes it this way. The original heart was deeply hurt, and the bunny was expressing itself. You have a long way to go. In 3,000 worlds, countless things happen. Do you have to be the one who gets hurt every time? At this moment, Tom Trung shouted loudly, "Enough! You all shut up! Give me a break." The two brothers from the Tot family both looked at Tom Trung. Tom Trung firmly said, "I will not. According to any AI, if you have this intention, then please leave." Ta Din Vun lost his cool. Then why? Didn't we agree to be together when you were ready? Why? Ta Din Xiao also spoke up. Is my brother forcing you? I can love you for a lifetime. Think about it. Come to me. Tom Trung sighed. It's not like when you guys just barged in. You didn't want to take my life. It's all because of him. Why don't you ask yourselves what your hearts truly want? Who do you really care about? Hearing this question, both brothers from the Tot family fell into silence. Tom Trung looked at Ta Din Van, Tadaika. Whatever you do, if it's not for the Tot family, then it's for the honor of the Band Federation. Our relationship is purely a political marriage. Ta Nika, since you were young, you've liked to compete. With your outstanding older brother, even your partner has to be fought for, to the point of bloodshed. Years ago, I chose to leave in silence. I did it so you two could think this through. For you two, you're not just pawns of the family, and you shouldn't let unnecessary competition cloud your judgment. Ta Din Xiao turned away. How can that be? Why do you like me just to compete with your brother? Although he said that, Ta Din Xiao himself didn't believe the two main characters would do that. You've hurt the little bunny's heart. Besides that, the true identity of the antagonist was revealed. That person was none other than the bright moon of the Ta twins. At this moment, Tom Trung turned away as Ta Din Xiao dodged. How can you like me just to compete with your brother? Ta Din Ven also agreed. Tom Trung, you're very smart, but you shouldn't say that. Political marriage can also have sincere feelings. It's because of his existence that I'm feeling uncomfortable about our relationship, right? I'm just a stand-in, nothing more. As soon as you come back, I'll make him disappear from your sight. Ta Din Xiao directly grabs the little bunny's hand. Right? Can he really like a stand-in? Look at me. Aside from looking like you, he's useless from head to toe. Does someone like that even deserve it? Tam Trung frowns. The chains weighing down on both of them are too heavy. You two really can't face yourselves. Just go back, I won't be going back. Ta Din Xiao and Ta Din Van are super anxious to hear this. They hurriedly chase after the little bunny, rubbing their wrists that Ta Din Xiao is gripping too tightly. It hurts like hell. The system is indignant. Instead of him, they are really too much. How can they talk about him like that? The little bunny doesn't think so. Even in this third world, he still hasn't developed into a mature system, just playing a role. No need to get too into character like that. Come on, let's go complete the 5th mission. Figure out how to finish the mission to take out Tam Trung. When Ta Din Xiao returns, the little bunny has already disappeared. Ta Din Van follows, wondering if the little bunny left because of what they just... Ta Din Xiao also thinks that maybe Long Tae is angry. After looking at each other, both fall into silence. On the other side, the little bunny sneaks into the kitchen. He heard that the food here is specially prepared for Tam Truong. There happens to be some noodles inside, and if he puts a little poison in it, he can make sure Tam Truong eats it and either dies or is bedridden for a few days. The system says, you guessed right, the plot details have been refreshed. The original host used this method to harm Tam Truong, but he didn't know that this kitchen has surveillance cameras. After everything was exposed, he was thrown into the sea to be fed to the fish by Ta Din Van and Ta Din Xiao. After successfully going offline, this world also ends. This time, you must not create any variables. The little bunny looks around, and the bean paste is really heaven sent. As long as he grinds it into powder and sprinkles it into the noodles, using just the right amount, can make Tam Truong bedridden for a few days. Just as the system said, at this moment every move he makes is being monitored. Tam Truong smirks. Poisoning is fun. A test subject that isn't afraid of death is delivered right to his door. The next morning, the 4 of them have breakfast together. Tam Truong tells them to hurry and leave, while he himself will not be going anywhere. Tam Truong says he is staying here to find evidence of the underground laboratory. Now that the people here finally trust him, he doesn't want to waste effort. Ta Din Van expresses that if it's that dangerous, they definitely can't leave. Just as Tom Truong is about to say it's unnecessary, his stomach suddenly cramps. This reaction scares the two brothers half to death. Ta Din Van quickly hugs him, while Ta Din Xiao's first reaction is that today's breakfast is problematic. He wants to sneak in to investigate the situation. With that, he puts on Tam Truong's mask and steps outside. After bringing Tam Truong back to his room, Ta Din Van questions the little bunny. "Aren't you worried?" The little bunny turns back and asks, "Worried about what?" Ta Din Van loosens his tie. "You're just Tam Truong's stand-in. Once she comes back, there's no place for you beside us." The little bunny pretends to be hurt, but honestly, I had already guessed that. "Are you holding a grudge?" The little bunny turned back and asked, "Holding a grudge about what?" Ta Din Van loosened his tie. "You're just a stand-in for Tam Truong. She's back now. There's no place for you beside us." The little bunny pretended to be hurt, but I had already guessed that. "So, with such a kind-hearted guy, it's totally natural for you all to choose him. I just feel like if you still have a bit of attachment to me, I could take care of him together." You saying this is making me want to gag, like, seriously, those greasy words are the worst. You guys should just forget about me already so I can quickly move on to the next world. Ta Din Van burst out laughing. To complete the mission that Commander Alice assigned, you really must be feeling all kinds of frustration, huh? The bunny immediately started crying like a professional actor. It's annoying when people say that others aren't human. At that moment, the door was kicked open violently. "What else are you scared of doing?" The bunny and Ta Din Van were shocked as they looked at him. Ta Din Xiao was furious. "The Bunny Alliance is hunting you down, and your picture is plastered all over this island. How dare you poison the food to harm him?" Tam Truong and Ta Din Van were also furious. "I suspected it before, but it really was you." The bunny put on a scared face, saying, "Not me! How could I harm Tam Truong?" Just as the bunny was about to run away, Ta Din Xiao grabbed him by the collar and pulled him back. In the end, Ta Din Van and Ta Din Xiao realized their feelings for the bunny, but he had disappeared. At this moment, the bunny was terrified, pleading, "Let me go! I only put laxatives in the food. It's not deadly." Ta Din Xiao gritted his teeth and repeated, "Just laxatives, huh?" The bunny desperately explained, "It's just bean powder. It won't kill anyone. Why are you guys overreacting?" Ta Din Xiao reached out and squeezed the bunny's neck. Even at this point, he still didn't realize his mistakes. The bunny immediately protested, "I didn't do anything. That person who just showed up stole the attention of both of you from me. I just wanted him to feel a bit of pain for a few days and then it would be fine." "Let me go!" Ta Din Xiao's gaze was icy. "Let you go? How can we be sure you won't do this to Tam Truong again?" Ta Din Van suggested. "How about we lock him in the storage room? If Tam Truong doesn't wake up by tomorrow, we'll throw him into the sea for the fish to eat." The bunny was frantically struggling. "Let me go! I don't want to be fish bait!" After that, the bunny was locked in the storage room. Ta Din Xiao told him to stay there and reflect. The bunny cried pitifully inside the room. He kept begging them to let him out. He didn't want to become fish food. Ta Din Van coldly said, "If you do wrong, you must pay the price." The bunny kept saying he was wrong, but he was secretly excited, thinking, "Feeding the fish is great! Those little fish are so cute, why should I be scared?" The system couldn't help but praise his acting skills, saying he deserved an Oscar. The scene of the green tea being exposed was so dramatic. Both main characters were about to explode with anger. By tomorrow morning, if they throw him into the sea, this world will start counting down. That means his mission here will be completely over. The bunny couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Thank goodness this world doesn't have a C number. At this moment, Ta Din Xiao and Ta Din Van were standing outside the door. Ta Din Xiao suddenly spoke up. He was really crying hard just now. Ta Din Van asked, "Are you heartbroken?" Ta Din Xiao retorted, "How could that be? Even if he dies, I wouldn't care," but just mentioning death made Ta Din Xiao freeze. Ta Din Van spoke up, "But leaving him in the storage room for a night, how could he die? Besides, he was sent by Commander Alice. If he doesn't complete the mission, how can he explain it to her? Just now, he didn't intentionally act violently. How could he explain that to her? He didn't mean to act violently." And Ta Din Van were standing outside the door. Ta Din Xiao suddenly spoke up. Earlier, he cried really hard. Ta Din Van asked him, "Are you heartbroken?" Ta Din Xiao retorted, "How could that be? Even if he died, I wouldn't care, but just mentioning death made Ta Din Xiao freeze." Ta Din Van spoke up, "But leaving him at the warehouse for one night, how could he die? Besides, he was sent by General Alice. If he doesn't complete the mission, how could he explain it to her? Earlier, he didn't mean to act violently. He didn't mean to not complete the mission. How could he explain that to her earlier? He didn't mean to act violently." The little bunny was just temporarily angry because it made a mistake and didn't know how to apologize. "Just wait until tomorrow when it calms down, and then I'll let you go." That night, Tara decided to bring some food to Long Tae. and there he discovered that Ta Ding Chao was also there. The two looked at each other for a moment, then sat down in front of the house. Ta Ding Van felt strange. Why was it so quiet inside? Could it be that they fainted from hunger? As soon as he heard that, Ta Ding Chao quickly kicked the door open, only to find the inside empty. This made the two brothers of the Ta family lose their cool. Finally, the main character of the little bunny appeared, and indeed, the main characters from the previous worlds were just pieces of a puzzle. At this moment, the little bunny was lying on a lifeboat, following the original content rules after the plot of betrayal was exposed. It ran away from the island, but was discovered by someone in the laboratory and ultimately died during the escape. This time, it could be considered that there were no unexpected variables, and the system started the countdown, but 4, 3, 2 just wouldn't reach 1. This made the little bunny lose its cool. 1 was gone, and the system started to tremble. Then the great leader, the little bunny, turned around and saw that the heavenly emperor had indeed arrived, which scared the little bunny to death. It hurriedly knelt down to pay respects, wondering what wind brought the great one here. The heavenly emperor snorted coldly, saying, "If I hadn't come, would you have caused chaos in all 3,000 of my worlds?" The little bunny didn't dare to raise its head, saying, "You're joking. How could I dare? It's just that in the previous 2 worlds, I wasn't familiar enough, which is why that happened. You see, in the 3rd world, I succeeded, right?" Hearing this, the heavenly emperor got even angrier, saying, "You dare to mention that? Do you know the outcome of the 3rd world?" The Ta brothers realized that the one they truly loved was you. One gave up the engagement with Tam Trong, and the other stopped pursuing Tam Trong. Not only that, they believed they had caused your death. Ta Ding Chao became lovesick and drowned in alcohol. Ultimately, he died in a gang fight, while Ta Ding Van became a monk for life and never returned to the secular world. The little bunny was stunned upon hearing this. How did it turn out like this? Didn't they hate him? Just yesterday, they said they would bury him. According to Tam Trong, the heavenly emperor pinched the little bunny's cheek, saying, "I summoned you to complete the mission in 3,000 worlds, yet you treat my words like the wind passing by your ears." The little bunny kept crying out in pain. The heavenly emperor, doting, asked, "You know pain, huh? My little carrot, which I've nurtured for 1,000 years, was stolen." "I've never complained about you, right?" the little bunny retorted. "Haven't I already been punished? In the previous worlds, I couldn't complete the mission. The fault wasn't entirely mine." The heavenly emperor asked, "What do you want to say?" The little bunny couldn't help but complain that these scripts were too strange. How could a normal, straightforward bunny like him play these characters? The heavenly emperor narrowed his eyes and asked, "Are you blaming me? Blaming me for not arranging suitable characters for you?" The little bunny didn't dare. Back then, he was just a little bunny who hadn't been enlightened in the human world, all thanks to the heavenly emperor's guidance. The heavenly emperor was his great benefactor. He just felt that these scripts were too bizarre. In 3,000 worlds, there are countless stories. Which world you enter is all up to chance. It's all based on creation. This time, I'm giving you one last chance. If you can't complete it, then you'll go back to being all based on creation. This time, I'm giving you one last chance. If you can't complete it, then you'll go back to being a little uncivilized bunny still has you. A reliable system, huh? The bunny hurriedly called out to the heavenly emperor who was about to leave. "Your Majesty, I already know the fate of them in the 3rd world, but what about the Grand Preceptor and Tad Van Thum? What's special?" "It's Ta Van Thum. He disappeared right before my eyes." The heavenly emperor looked at him silently for a moment, then told him the fate of the Grand Preceptor was similar to the fate of those in the 3rd world. As for Ta Van Thum, once you complete your mission, in the 4th world, I will tell you. After saying that, he didn't bother to turn around and just left. The bunny was speechless. What's with all the mystery? Is this old heavenly emperor anxious about growing carrots or what? At that moment, the system notified him that the path to the new world had been opened. Just then, a loud explosion rang out, and the bunny fell into a sea of water. When he opened his eyes again, he was stunned in place. He really was unlucky to start off so dramatically. Could it be that this time he got the script for a perverted cannon fodder? The strangest thing was that the system had disappeared.